Hello YouTube. As you can see, we're on a Mac. I'm running Steam for Mac, and I'd just like to give my little review of it. Steam for Mac, it's Steam. It's not any different than the Windows version, except that there are less titles available on the Mac platform right now, which is going to change. The client itself pretty much is identical to the Windows one. I mean, you look at a game, for example, that hasn't been released on Mac yet. They've released Half-Life 2, but not Half-Life 1. Epic fail, Valve. Epic fail. They don't even have Half-Life 1 source yet. Then again, I have more expectations than I can choose. They don't have Counter-Strike yet. They don't have Counter-Strike source yet either. Fear was just ported onto the Windows version of Steam, so that's going to take a while, if at all. Garry's Mod isn't on Mac yet. However, Half-Life 2, Episode 1, Episode 2, and Portal are on Steam for Mac, and there are a bunch of other games out here too. But the only complaint I have about Steam for Mac is that there aren't a huge abundance of games yet. But that's to be expected because it's so young right now. Now, how is the performance? Let's take a look. Let's launch Half-Life 2 and watch the intro with G-Man. He's got a valve in his head. Spinning beach ball of death. Half-Life 2 is lagging, like it always does. Come on. There it goes. So as you can see, it still does that loading thing that it does on Windows, It's pretty much the same game, it's just on Unix instead of Windows. The menu items are a little bit fatter now on the Mac version. You, pick up that can. Let's start a new game. Check out the loading times on Mac. Since the disks are a different format on Mac OS X than they are on Windows, it's HFS Plus versus NTFS. Loading times are about the same, I'd say, having run Windows on this computer before to run my games.
And shine, Mr. Freeman. Rise and shine. Not
G-Man!
To imply you have been sleeping on the job. No one is more deserving of a rest. And all the effort.
So far, it looks exactly like it does on Windows. It uses OpenGL and everything.
Well, let's just say your hour has come again. The right man in the wrong place can make all the difference in the world. So wake up, Mr. Freeman. Wake up and smell the ashes.
Now here comes the real test when we're actually walking around. Now I'm using a touchpad, so forgive my horrible... As you can see, everything is very smooth and very fluid. There's that guy. So, basically, all they did was port the same game over to Mac OS X, which they're going to do with the Linux version of Steam, assuming that actually comes out at the end of the summer. That would be great, because I wouldn't have to use I wouldn't have to have a dedicated Windows partition just to play games. I could do it on either this computer or, my Linux box or whichever you like, It would be great to have Steam on Linux, actually, because I used to run it on Linux with Wine. But then I discovered that you can't use the client at all in Wine now, since they released the new one. But there you go, that's Steam for Mac. It's nothing special, in my opinion. I mean, it is, but it isn't. It's not any better than the Windows version. It's just, they've put it on Mac OS X, which expands the gaming market for them a lot more. And it's just a very smart idea on their part. It's no longer, they're expanding it to cross-platform, so it's no longer a niche market. It's just, let's play some games. And the Steam Play thing, I think that's a little bit, it's like you buy one game on Steam and you can use it on both Mac OS X and Windows, assuming it supports both. Now, That I honestly expected, because when you buy a game on Steam, it's Steam no matter what operating system you're on. You know, it's Steam either way, so it's not going to matter. Now, what do I think about this? I think it's great. You know, you don't. Let's say you have to use a Mac for your profession, and you also like to play games. You don't need a separate Windows partition to use Steam anymore, which is great. You know, you don't have to waste all that disk space. You can just run Steam on the Mac. It's a great idea. It makes things a lot more convenient. It's nothing terribly special, but it's awesome the fact that they came out with it. You know, they're made it identical to the Windows version, which I find, you know, perfect. I gave it 2 thumbs way up. I love it. Great idea, Valve. I hope you come through with the Linux version as well, so that we really do have true cross-platform gaming. That is a day I've been wanting for a long time. So yeah, have a good one, everybody. Ciao.